So what's the one thing the doctors tell you to stay away from?
Beef. The good stuff.
The good stuff. So this time we're just going to talk all meat. All right?
Yes, because
all
meat is good.
Meat is delicious. Okay? Meat is just straight out delicious, and I think you should have a lot of it, even if it stops your heart.
And no. There's a few lines you gotta watch. But we don't mean white meat.
No,
we mean beef.
Well, we mean beef. Well, personally, for me, meat is meat. It could be, and I don't mean like fish is meat, but that is a different type
sort
of meat.
of, yeah.
I'm talking pork. I'm talking chicken. I'm talking.
You're talking everything.
I'm talking all of it. Even though chicken is definitely good
white
for
meat,
you.
and even pork is white meat.
Yeah, but pork is still not that great for you, though. They're saying it's very fatty. It's not good.
Well, do you mean pork like bacon?
I mean,
or do you mean pork like a pork loin, a pork tenderloin? Because those are leaner. That's less
chops. We're talking chops.
But I still don't consider pork chops to be fatty. Well, yes, there's fat around it.
Yes.
And I trim some, leave some.
Right.
But I consider that white healthier meat. That's a healthier route to me.
Ask any doctor, and they would tell you stay away from pork.
Boy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm not losing nothing.
Believe me, if this is because of meat, I'm gonna stay this way.
You're happy.
Yeah.
I take what I got.
Oh hell yeah! So, I did for the night of my birthday. Because I never got a chance to talk about it.
Yes, because you did a lot of cooking and everything looked so good. And I'm glad you made a video. I enjoyed that. Yeah. With your sneak peeks.
Yeah, I do. See, I'm glad that you took what I was doing there.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So, one of the hardest cuts that I think that for me to cook, and I think we've both had some back and forth with this cut.
Yes, we've had ups and downs.
But
you're braver than me because you actually buy it. Me, I look at it and I'm like,
you studying it at the market?
No. I gotta I don't know. Is it worth it? Is it gonna be dry? Is it the right cut? Because there's a top round, there's a bottom round, which was the better one. And then half the time I put it back and I walk away.
So I bought a top round.
Okay.
A top round was a top round roast.
Yes.
Right. So very, very simple. It was actually a lot simpler than I thought it was. I think I complicated things too much a little bit in the past, but now it's like, you know what? Let me just do the right way. I slit holes in it all around.
Yes.
I shoved garlic cloves in. So I wanted to make sure that
that's something that we always do too.
Yes. I covered it with olive oil. I just light thing, rosemary, thyme, and salt, black pepper. Let's just keep this as simple as possible.
Sometimes simplicity is the better route to go.
Listen, I was more concerned with the dryness because it can be dry.
Well, that's with now part 2 of cooking it.
Right.
But part 1, I think you nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, see, we always did that growing up, putting slits in the meat and putting little slivers of garlic.
And it works.
Now I tend not to do it as much because I want my kids to eat it.
Because they won't eat it with the garlic.
If they start seeing, because my mom will actually make the slits, and then she always used to get the seasoning from Italy. I can't even talk no more. The seasoning from Italy. La Zost, it's called, for meat. And it's fully seasoned, has everything in that's not even salt. Like everything is in there. You don't have to add anything extra.
Is this something that you poured on top like a powder?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what she would do is she would make the slits, stick her fingers in it like to whiten it, put a little of the seasoning and the sliver of garlic.
Okay.
Which was my job. But whatever. Now I tend not to do that because I really want them to eat it. I don't want to cook like 10 dinners all the time. So I keep it more simplified.
Okay.
But that's how I always grew up eating a roast.
Right. Last time I've done this, I've kept it covered while it was cooking. I've done this, I've done that. This time I had the olive oil on top. I know it would help with crisping the outside. I put it at like 375, 40 minutes. I had a temperature.
The internal. Do you use the internal thermometer where you leave it in the whole time?
Yes.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, I have to leave that.
Love that tool.
So I use it in, and then the minute that, and I'm not one to let stuff rest because it's like.
Wait, you're in a rush?
Yeah. For that, I am.
See, but
for
that's your mistake.
No, for eating, I am.
That's your mistake.
But the problems that I had
needs to rest. The juices need to circulate and stay in the meat.
But the problem that I always had was that the fact that it always came out dry, not undercooked. It always came out dry. That was my problem.
Oh, that's your cooking method.
Well, thank you. Well, I fixed it this time. So I made sure it hit like 130. And I yanked it out.
Okay, so you took it out at 130.
Yes, I took it out at 130.
Because you have to know when to take it out.
Because
that's a big thing.
Right. If you take it out at, let's just say when it says, oh, it's already at the medium rare temperature, that's supposed to be 145.
No, because it needs to rest.
Right.
And temperature increases as it's resting. But you see, I don't take it out at 130.
What do you take it out on?
How do you like your meat?
Medium
bloody?
rare.
See,
Medium rare.
that's not meat. Okay, so that's why you do 130.
Yeah. Because then I took the tin foil and I wrapped it up like a little baby child. I wrapped it up and I let it sit there for that 15
Fully
minutes.
wrapped it?
Yes.
No.
No. Like I domed it.
It's got to be tented.
I domed it.
With a little loose because you need some to escape.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I domed it. I didn't like pick up the whole thing and then rewrap it. No,
okay.
I just domed it.
Yes.
But it was a tight doming.
Okay, because it needs to be, the phrase is
Right.
tented.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Get it right.
But you saw when I was making the cuts, you saw the color. It had a nice, like always the ends are going to be always more cooked. That was.
It did look juicy. I'm just like busting
No,
your chops
I
here.
know.
But it did look very
But
juicy when you were cutting it.
good.
So
Like,
you did the right thing.
It was at the right level. I mean, yeah, I made gravy on the side or whatever. I could have used the juices from there, but last minute, you know, a little bit of gravy master, a little bit of, you know, beef broth with the drippings and put it all together.
I really, like, this is something I learned to do now as an adult, making my own gravy. It's so easy.
It is easy.
And it's so good.
It is.
So
easy.
I enjoy doing that.
You have the rack where you could lay the meat on and then have the drippings hit the pan.
Yes.
I don't have that. I need that.
Do you have carrots and celery
Oh,
home?
come on, as a lifter, yeah.
Yeah. So just do that.
Yeah, but I mean, I everything else was done on the stove. I did the.
So what?
That's
how you freaking raise it.
I know, but
okay,
I'm
that's what you got to do. But actually, another point that it's good that you took it out at 130 because you're better off taking it out early.
Correct.
Even if you don't like it at that medium rare, you want it a little bit more.
still boost it.
Because once you pass it, you can't go back.
Exactly.
Like you could even just take the gravy or the drippings, turn on the flame on the stove and let it heat a little bit more just to get it more cooked. So you're better off less than too much.
But you do something that I've had a few times here that
So like I said before, I see your freaking top round, bottom round, I walk away from it because it's like a hit and miss sometimes. You don't know if it's going to be good. It's leaner. That's the problem.
Yes.
There's less marbling going through it, so it could dry out very quickly or not go well.
Right.
I love a prime rib roast. I think that is foolproof. You can't mess it up. Does it cost more money? Yes, but you know what? It's going to come out great.
Right.
And honestly, it's a bigger piece too, so you get a lot more out of it.
What do you do to prep for it?
Okay. So it's more in the prep work when you're doing the prime rib. You could order it from a butcher and have them do it all for you. They could prep it and season it for you. The very first time, that's what they did. And then afterwards, I'm like, that's all they did? Right? Because like once you kind of saw what they did, I was like, I could do that myself. And actually, I do it now myself. So you take your prime rib, and at the end, there's ribs, the bones, like 3, 4, 2, depending how big it is. So you stand it up, towel, pat it dry, stand it up, and now you have the bone sticking up with your knife. Now, I may not do the cleanest job. I'm not a professional, but you cut along that.
Yeah.
Not all the way where it's 2 pieces. You keep the bottom attached, but where it's like a book, right? The bones are here and the roast is here.
Right.
Cover all over in olive oil. The outside and even the inside that you cut. And then you season it all up. I do kosher salt that's thicker because I like that kosher salt on roast like that.
Yeah.
Cracked pepper. You could do any seasonings you want. I tend to keep it more simplified because, again, I want my kids to eat it. But you could do any seasonings you want. But basically, kosher salt and fresh ground pepper is your starter with olive oil. season it all up, and then you just tie it back together. Because doing that split helps you when it's cooked.
Okay.
Because then you cook it completely, and then you snip the twine, and then the bones, you just like cut the rest of it and you're done. But the bones help it in cooking because now you're keeping the juices there too.
Right.
Right? So it's kind of like a two-way.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the way I cook it, I do put it on a rack. If you don't have a rack, just lay some celery sticks and carrots.
Yeah.
And that elevates it too.
Right.
And then that's it. I throw it in the oven with water on the bottom.
Okay.
I
To
pour
keep it
a little
moist?
water
Okay.
to get it started. Because then if you don't, it could burn with a few drips as it's dripping. And then just to avoid all of that, get a little water on the bottom. Depending on the size of your pan, maybe a half of a cup. If you wanted to do broth, you could do broth too. We always kind of just tend to do water.
Yeah.
And
it also helps keep the meat hydrated too, where it's not drying out as well. Because as it cooks, remember like how they do like certain cheesecakes or certain desserts.
a water bath.
They do the water bath. So that definitely, I could see that keeping its moisture, which I could see.
That helps in that too, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I cook it. You said 375. I do 350.
Okay.
It's got to be low and slow.
Right.
Now, there's so many methods out there. This one works for me. 350. I leave it in. I think roughly it's like, 20 minutes a pound?
Something
when you
like
cook
that,
meat.
yeah.
I like that internal thermometer
Yes.
where I could watch it outside the stove and you don't got to keep going in and out.
Yeah.
I take it out at 140. I like my meat medium. I'm not one for the medium rare where I hear it mooing on my plate.
But the digestion is so much easier when it's medium rare. When it's medium going into well done, you're sitting there, you're like, here it is, it's a brick. You know what I mean?
It's not a brick.
It's heavy. It's
Pink?
heavy.
No, it's not. And like you said, you've had mine many
I have.
times.
No,
And I never
that's true.
fed you bricks.
No. It always came out good. No.
No, it's very juicy.
Yeah,
and medium,
absolutely.
I think that's where my point lands.
Yes.
So I take it out at 140.
Okay.
I
And then you tent it.
Tent it.
Tempting.
And then when it's at 150, that's when I slice it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's my numbers, 140, and I cut it at 150.
Okay.
If you like it more medium,
Mm-hmm.
do it early at the 130. You want it more well cooked because some people like it well cooked.
Right.
And so there you do it. There's that method,
Yes.
right?
Remember that?
You go like this.
So it's all about here.
Yes.
So this
Your
is
thumb, this bit
rare,
right here.
medium rare, medium well,
is well.
See?
Yeah, we stay away from this.
Yeah, this doesn't exist. That's
No,
why
not in my vocabulary.
Just to tell you, God made sure I could barely touch these. So he says you will never have to test that because you'll never.
Because you
eat
don't
this.
need it.
You don't need it.
You don't need
we
it
can just
rare.
cut this off. So there's that. But that's fine with the roasts. Now let's go down to another thing that a lot of people have a problem with, which is pork chops.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they make their pork chops, they come out dry. They don't come. It's like they don't really know what the right way to do things is, and that's fine. I have a surefire way method, whether it's thin sliced or it's the thick chop ones. It doesn't matter.
We're very similar but different in
Right,
this. So
right.
I'll let you speak first.
So I kind of do these in a way like how I would do a baked cutlet, right? So I would definitely have them breaded, have them ready, just as if you were making chicken cutlets. It's the same. For me, it's the exact
Do
same
you
thing.
do egg and breadcrumb or do you do flour, egg, and breadcrumb?
No, I don't do flour. So
I
it's
don't
just egg.
either.
It's just egg and bread.
I don't either, and I just posted my video like a week ago on my
Sure.
pork chops, and a few people came at me. Where's the flour? Where's the flour?
You don't need
I
the flour.
Don't do flour.
You don't have to flour. You don't. Okay. FYI, you don't have to flour coat. That is totally an option. There is nothing out there that says you need to flour coat. That's extra gluten. That's extra stuff that you don't need. You already have your breadcrumbs. You're solid. There's no
I
reason
feel
for it.
I am very content with the breading that it holds with just the egg and breadcrumbs. And
Exactly.
honestly, I think it's enough.
Do you know that how many times I've done like a flour coating that the egg would actually not stick and it slides all? Like I find the flour coating to be unnecessary.
Right, an unnecessary step.
It really is. Either way, we're moving forward. Now, with the after you bread everything, right? And I know, like my mother, she would say, I don't like using the egg because I feel like that's a part of why it dries out. So she uses vegetable oil. She'll dip them in vegetable oil and then bread them and then put them down.
That's another thing that my family used to do.
Right.
Just olive oil and then the breading. So that's another alternative that you could do.
It's an alternative if you don't want to stay away from the egg.
Or the egg prices.
Yeah. But it doesn't make it better or worse.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. But now here's what I do a little differently. When I lay them down, right? Because it's just me. I only do like maybe 3 or 4 of them. I get a teaspoon with vegetable oil and I put one on every single one. It's a little annoying, whatever. I spread it on.
Just get your oil bottle and go da.
Well, for vegetable oil, I don't have that.
I do olive oil.
That's what. No, I do vegetable because I like the way because the cooking point on it, like it's more of a fry than it is the other way.
Okay.
So I would then flip them and then do the same thing. One teaspoon of the vegetable oil, put it on, throw it in the oven. Again, that magic number 375.
Okay. Yeah.
First 15 minutes, take them out, flip them. 10 minutes. I can guarantee you, doesn't matter the cut. If they're thin, thick, whatever it is, they're gonna come out tasting like chicken cutlets without being fried on the stove.
And this was boneless.
I
with the bone.
always use boneless.
Boneless. Okay.
I know you'd like to use the bone one.
I do, but I just want to jump back to what you were saying with your method. That's what I do for chicken.
Yes, like you could do a baked chicken cutlet.
Yes. No. Chicken pieces. Chicken legs.
Okay, so go to that.
So I've done that. I posted my video on that. We would just same thing. Egg, breadcrumb.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we do oil on the bottom of the pan, right? You want to get like a good coating.
Yeah.
Put your chicken legs, all on the pan, and then drizzle oil on top.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it in the oven.
Yeah.
Let it brown up the bottom first. When the bottom gets browned, then we flip them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's so crispy, crunchy, coated.
That's the Italian version of fried chicken.
Yes. Italian version, you're so right. But that's what we do, so it's the same method as yours, but
But you also put, like, when you do them, I noticed that you also put, like, potatoes in there, and you put sausage, like, you do, like, this whole, like...
A one-pan dish.
A one-pan dish, which is great because...
It's a time saver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, sometimes you don't have time to, like, okay, let's make sausage. Okay, let's make the chicken. Okay, let's make the potatoes. Okay, let's do the peppers. Throw everything in the damn pan. What the hell does it matter? They're all together.
For me... I listen, I've come here enough to eat sausage in many different ways. But when I make it at home, I never really I try putting it in the oven and it comes out fine. But there's another method that I do that for some reason like for me it elevates the sausage flavor, and it's in a pan.
Na pareda.
Na pareda.
Well, that's the old way, like in the pan. Do you put a little water? Or nothing.
White wine.
Wine. Okay.
I use white wine.
That'll give good flavor.
The roll. So the first roll that I put, first of all, the sausage I buy has to have cheese in it.
Cheese and parsley.
Cheese and parsley. When I went to Italy, they had gorgonzola, and Gouda in. Oh my God, we eat that as it's grilling. Insane flavor. Loved it. But we're not there, and it makes me sad. So I'll get the cheese and parsley. I'll do the first when it's laying down, when it's first down. I make sure that with nothing. I'll just make sure that gets browned up, right? When I do the flip, that's when I put the white wine in and I put a cover on it.
Because it's half cooked already. So as the wine evaporates, it's finished cooking.
There
See,
we
get each other.
Oh, there we go. And it's so good because the oven does what the oven does. It dries things out. It can potentially do that. And don't get me wrong. I love like a non-juicy piece of rolled up, like the rolled sausage. It's great. But from the pan, when you get that soft semolina bread and you make like for me, I won't eat it straight like that. I have to have, like, that's a sandwich sausage, right? That's sandwich sausage. Open up that semolina bread, close it up.
That's one of the best sandwiches.
Oh my God.
Just nice, crispy, crunchy semolina bread, fresh.
Oh, fresh.
And then some sausage in the middle.
If you throw some sauteed onions that with a little bit of butter on them, salt, black pepper, and you put that.
Me, you're going to town.
I'm gonna have problems. But that's the only. But in the oven, I do like the way they come out. You like using broil. You like to broil, right?
The broiler, yes, I grew up using the broiler. We really did all the time. But for me, the broiler, I love it on steaks.
Yes.
See, that's how I grew up with steaks.
Right.
Always in the broiler. Because every Sunday, my grandmother would make steak. It's so funny because some nonnas, sauce, right? On my mom's side, I guess maybe because she made it all week long, every Sunday, pasta with the sauce and steak.
Yes.
So when I ate over there, I knew what I was eating. And she always made it in the broiler. That was the flavor I grew up with, and I love it.
Because the flame is right there.
I
It's
love
right above it.
broiled steak. I always had it either in the broiler or in the barbecue outside.
Correct.
Never had it in a pan growing up.
You have to
this
have
is something now that I've learned as an adult.
Yeah. So
very good too. Delicious. And you could do it with the butter and the herbs out of this world.
That's all I do.
But I love a broiled steak. But
That's
my
awesome.
favorite, what's your favorite cut of steak?
New York strip, it has to be.
Strip? I love ribeye. That's my
Ribeye's
favorite cut.
good. I try to get the cuts that have. I know it sounds stupid, but I hate the fatty parts. I really do. So I try to get like the lean part.
Ribeye does have more with the marbling throughout. It keeps it so juicy.
No, I know it does.
But I know.
I
Too
hate
much
cutting
is
it
not good.
off. I feel like I'm working more to cut the stuff
Or
out.
you're leaving half of it on your dish to say with the cutting it off.
You know, and listen, me and you both know that the best cut that we can get that I won't pay the prices on is filet mignon.
Yes, but you got to be careful with that too. That's another one that could overcook so fast. So honestly, I wouldn't really look to. If you tell me, Enza, ribeye or filet mignon, I'd go with the ribeye.
No, 100%. But I would do the filet mignon. I would end up doing that in the pan because I can do a high heat, quick sear, all sides, lid, keep it on the side for maybe about 10 minutes, not leaving it on the same hot area. Just move it to the cold side.
But you know what? I don't enjoy it the same way.
No?
Just you there explaining it is bringing me back visuals.
Why is that?
Because, like you said, yes, you need to cook one side and then you flip it.
Yes.
And then that's it. Take it off. I feel like when they order it out sometimes, like the outside layer is like medium, perfect. But when you get to the very, very center, because they're thicker.
Right.
They're not thin, they're thick.
Yes.
It's not as cooked as I would like it. And then I leave it for him. So, and then I'm like, whatever.
It's preference at that point. For me, if
I don't have that problem with a ribeye.
But it's not a problem. It's a problem because you're making it a problem. It's not a problem.
No, a ribeye is consistent throughout. You're at the end, the left, the right, or the center. It's consistent.
I get you.
A filet mignon, the outside, like the outer portion.
Yes.
Maybe the first inch, 2 inches. It's consistent, but that very center is like a lot less cooked, and it's not my favorite.
That's what I'm saying.
I leave it.
Oh my God! You leave the best part.
No, I don't leave it to the place. I leave it for my husband.
No, I
and
know.
I say, you finish
so
it.
basically, you cut it like an Oreo. You take the top, both cookies, and you leave that cream alone. What is wrong with you?
I eat around.
I eat around.
I eat around, and I leave
so you do this?
Yeah. That's exactly what I do.
I'm telling you, it's the best because you're getting a char, crispy outside, and a soft, very juicy inside. It is like
so we cannot go to a steakhouse together.
No, we can't. We just can't share.
We're not going to agree.
We just can't share plates.
No, not at all.
Well, actually, the one thing we probably could share is the porterhouse.
Yeah,
because you would get your portion that you like that's fully cooked, and then I get my fillet
on the other end.
Inside.
Very
so
true.
There we go. We got to get 2 of them though. So okay, that's I could definitely. That's definitely good, 100%.
But I love a good steak.
Who doesn't?
I love a good steak. What side do you love with a steak?
Listen, I'm starting to think that this side is just good all around. It's mashed potatoes.
No!
It's mashed potatoes.
I can't do mashed. I mean, okay, I love mashed potatoes. Love it.
But you wouldn't with that?
I would never order a mashed potato. You know what I would order?
Let me hear it.
A baked potato.
I remember you telling me that you're into the whole
need a
baked
baked
potato.
potato.
Why? It's
Because
like,
you need to put the butter on top and you need the sour cream.
yes,
If
yes.
you give me mashed potatoes, do you want it loaded? No, I don't want that crap on my mashed potatoes.
It's the same thing.
I just want buttery mashed potatoes. No, it's different. When you get mashed potatoes, it's all creamy.
Okay.
And then you just have the sour cream on top, or then cheese is just melted on top.
A
But
Wendy's baked potato.
Huh?
A Wendy's baked potato.
Probably, right? But if you get a baked potato, it's chunkier. It's like
But you
you're
have to
mixing
work
it
it.
yourself, but it's worth it.
Maybe.
It's worth the work.
I gotta be in the mood, and it's very rare for me to be in the mood.
See, we can't go to a steakhouse together because now we're not agreeing on anything.
So do you baked potato? You poke holes through them tin foil in the oven? What
Yes,
are you doing?
yeah. No. I do not poke holes.
Oh, you don't?
No, but I make an X. I don't know why. I guess it's the same thing. Instead
Where-
of the holes
Okay.
on the top, wash your potato,
Sure.
towel dry it, get a sharp knife, make an X.
Okay.
And then I wrap it in foil.
Okay.
Put them all together in a big pan, throw it in the oven, very high, 425,
Yeah.
very high. Maybe even 450 depending, and let them cook.
How long do they
Stab
usually?
it with a knife. It depends on the size of the
size of
potato.
the
If they're
potato, right.
small, an hour. If they're larger, it takes longer. We do that early.
Right.
We do that first if we know we're doing
Yeah,
potatoes.
because
because
it's
when you
gotta
take
sit.
it out, it still stays hot for a while.
Yeah.
Like a good half hour, 40 minutes, they're still hot.
Right. And we actually did it as well. Like you did one and I did one. Remember we did our pork tenderloins?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Oh my God, those came out so good. It didn't matter. At the end of the day, they were both freaking awesome. We got to do that again.
I really like keeping pork tenderloins in my freezer. It's
Yes, they keep well.
it's an easy fallback dinner, like on a weeknight meal when you don't know what to make. You
Right.
take it out, you sear it,
Mhm.
season it, sear it, and then you put it in the oven.
No, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
then I take that out. I think also 140. Or maybe 140.
yeah, 140. Yeah,
Because I think
135, 140.
145
Yeah, because it's gonna
is
go
when
up.
I slice it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like keeping those home.
We got to do the pork tender because it's been a while. I'm really feeling it now.
I make it every week, so just come
Oh,
over.
you really do?
I keep it in my freezer. I
wow.
have 2 in my freezer right
I got
there.
two right there.
I swear to God, because it's an easy meal.
Yes.
And my kids eat it, so it's an easy meal.
Right. And there's one dish that I don't know if you've done. You might have. I have
What?
to ask you. Braised short ribs.
No, years ago I did it. I haven't done it in recent years, but I loved I don't know if it's considered braised, but a chuck roast in a Dutch oven.
There it is. There's the magic Dutch oven.
I love it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it.
Oh, yeah.
It is kind of similar. I mean,
Okay,
different
steps-
meats because
steps
a
might be the
chuck
same.
roast is whole.
Yes.
Yeah, but the other one is like more smaller pieces.
So the other one, it's beef ribs.
Yes.
They're the short ribs.
Yes.
But yes, it's kind of like the same thing. Like you brown,
You sear everything.
you sear everything. Then whatever's left, you
Yes.
put red wine, tomato paste.
Yes, I do a
then-
little tomato
Yes.
paste. I do like a cup of red wine,
Yes.
fresh herbs, thyme and rosemary. I think I
There you
do.
go.
Kosher salt, cracked black pepper,
Yep.
and then cook down that broth a little bit with the wine in it, and then put it back in, and then just let it go low and slow.
There you go.
That's my winter dish.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Oh yeah, and it's so like even the fatty parts on that, I don't mind because they
Oh,
just-
so you'll leave that, but
I'll
not
leave
the
that.
one on the damn
not on
ribeye?
mistake. Not on mistake. Nope, won't do it. Can't happen. But
You're crazy.
those are always so. I mean, really think about it. We went over braised, baked, broiled. Like you can literally do anything when it comes to the meat. You know
You
what I
can
mean?
cook food in any ways.
Of course.
You really can, and it comes. You just need the energy and the time, and do it. Do it.
And
Use
honestly,
your seasonings and do it right.
The one thing that I think that took both me and you is practice.
Of course,
we're
you gotta learn
learning-
what works.
Right. We're learning what temperature works with what meat at the best time.
Have you ever had like a cooking faux pas?
I have butt tons of those. That's why when I record, I make sure that it's good enough because I've gotten yelled at because I will throw out a whole recording because I would botch.
I thought you meant the food. I was
No,
like, "Ah."
well, there's been one or two of those where I
Okay.
would literally because I'm so pissed at myself that I don't focus enough, where it's like I took it out too early, and then you're like, okay, well, you can put it back in. And I'm like, no, it's ruined. It is ruined.
It's
I can't do
ruined
it.
if you
is to
take
me.
it out too early. No.
No.
Because we cook whole roasted chickens
Yeah.
very often now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because again, everybody eats it, my kids, everybody, so it's an easy weeknight meal.
Sure.
So we'll do a whole roasted chicken.
Yeah.
The only problem with a whole roasted chicken is when is it done? Because with the thermometer, you look at the breast. Then you got to do it in the thigh. And you got to make sure it's at 160.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times when I'm doing it, and it'll tell me 160, but if you don't get it in that right spot, it could be under. So I start carving it after it rests. The breast is good, but when I start getting to the thigh, the leg is good too.
But that
And the
thigh
wing,
meat-
but that thigh meat is always a little under. So what I would do is still carve everything up in the chunks, in the pieces, the whole thighs, the whole legs, cut everything up. Then take out the rack where you just have the pan with all the juices. Put that pan on top of the stove. Turn on the flame. Get like a little bubble. Then bring it down to simmer. And then I just put the thighs, whatever I think is still under. Put those pieces back in all those juices.
That's a good way to save it.
Until it cooks through a little bit more. And then you're saved.
Right.
But now, you know what we started doing? Have you ever spatchcocked the chicken?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't done it yet.
It cooks so much faster.
I'm sure.
Half the time, and it cooks more throughout.
So what's the process on that?
You cut out the back.
Okay.
For some reason, when it's held the whole chicken roasted, it takes so much longer to cook.
Because the heat absorbs through the back?
But when you spatchcock it, I don't know how the hell this word came about, but when you cut the back out, and it's laying flat.
Yes, where it's like,
Laid out flat.
Yeah.
Without the back.
Yeah.
It cooks so much faster and evenly.
Yeah.
So we do that now.
I've done that on a few times.
You could split it throughout the breast.
Yeah.
Like cut it through that breast
I've done
bone,
that too, yeah.
Or cut the back out. Honestly, who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Cut it like I said before with the prime rib roast. I'm not a butcher. I'm not a professional.
Right.
I do it how I know how to do it until I learned, and I do. It may not be the cleanest of cuts. Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
You're still feeding your family. You're getting the job done. Do it. And then as you perfect it, then whatever. Then you get better at it.
Well, yeah, that's true. And then honestly, I'm probably going to end up doing that. I have 2 Cornish game hens.
Oh, I loved eating Cornish hens growing up.
I was actually able, when I went to the store, I'm like, oh my God, they actually have it.
I always had that growing up. We were only 3 people in my family.
Right, so you didn't
I'm an
need,
only child. So my mom would do that maybe like once every 2 weeks, once a week, whatever.
Yeah.
Cornish hens. See, that goes with mashed potatoes.
It does. But I'm going to figure out if I'm going to do that Dutch oven thing again. But I'm going to have 2 of those because I had 1 whole chicken last time. I think I'm going to do
Yes, you roast yours in the Dutch oven. I do mine in the oven.
Yeah.
I
think with this, I'm probably going to end up doing them in the oven. Just get that. I want that crisp, nice
skin.
Yeah, I'm going to do that olive oil coating. Do the
herbs, butter under the skin.
Yep.
Sage goes really good. They even have a pack of poultry seasonings.
Okay.
Fresh herbs, poultry, it's called.
Okay.
And that's like a mix of what you need.
I'll take it. You know, for me, it was always like I would rather, I don't know why, but I would always rather get a small bowl and just put the stuff in there and make it myself, like the garlic powder, the salt, black pepper.
Because you need a large amount of it.
Yes.
So just let your butter get to room temperature.
Yeah.
And throw your herbs in there.
And then just mix it up and then just lather it on. I'm probably going to end up doing that. And they're 2 little chickens.
I know, it's not much.
It is big. Those are snacks to me. So I have to have that. And I'll probably end up doing like, I might even do like a sweet potato mash with them.
See, I would eat that, but I have nobody to eat it with.
Come over.
Pietusa.
Come on, Pietusa.
Right. Nobody in my family really likes sweet potatoes.
That's crazy because I would actually I would go, if you said to me, hey, would you like sweet potatoes tonight? I'd be like, you know what? Thinking about it, I wouldn't mind it.
That's a very good point because I should do that when you're here. I don't think of that.
We should do
at least that way we could eat it together.
And the other good part that I did as a side that I was kind of like playing around with, the baby carrots. I can do them like when they get like to the soft point, take them out of the water, right? Because you have to boil them. Then into a frying pan with rosemary and a little bit of butter. They have this distinct like cinnamon taste to it. Like I'm not a big cinnamon person, but the way it goes to get it tastes very
Like
well.
a cinnamon flavor comes through.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
It is the oddest thing you'll ever like. It's like I don't get where the
Interesting.
flavor's coming from, but it's soft. It's nice.
I like carrots. I really enjoy them. I always did buy baby carrots. I don't anymore. I buy the whole carrots now.
Right, like you get the stew carrots, like
The big ones,
yeah, those are
whole
the stew-
carrots. Yeah.
Because they have the regular thin ones, they're like organic. But
Yeah.
then they have the stew carrots.
Yes,
where
that are
they're
like dum-dum.
manzone, like this. Like
Yeah, no,
they're
I buy
huge.
whole carrots.
Okay.
And then use it however, if
Right.
you need to put your meat on it.
Right.
See, that's your problem. You're not buying whole carrots.
With the carrot that big, you
Your
can put the
baby
chicken
carrots
through it.
ain't
sitting
doing
there.
nothing for you.
Or you do the chicken in a can, the beer chicken.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Me neither.
I'm freaking scared.
See,
I
but
think
you
have to have it
should
open.
do that
I
because
know.
I'm scared the beer flavor will come through, and I don't like
But
beer.
No. But you're not.
But it probably doesn't.
When it cooks, listen, just like anything happens, when it cooks, you're getting a different flavor. You're not getting
know,
that flavor.
I know.
Definitely, I would give you the try on that one, though.